I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but the conditions are so different. I mean, you're facing an L3 zone, so like you have 300 feet facing in a 65-foot zone and 200 feet facing an L3 zone. So I guess, I mean, I guess that's, you've explained it.
It makes sense when you look at the fact we have that extra lot in the back and there's no buffer to
and then just to clarify, in that tower that you look at on the corner, those are residential units. Above the ground level, it's just a series of residential units.
Well, the ground level is retail. And,
right.
And the corner, right now we're looking at them as we do have some program space we can put in some of those, some activity rooms.
There you go, you got it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. A question about the 23rd and Madison. Like you said, you have a flat iron condition on 22nd and Madison, which is one case, and you almost have this same case on the other corner, which is a very challenging site. Could you just talk about that corner a little bit and what the intention is for that corner, and maybe if you could.
The very last slide, kind of, well, you can see it there.
Yes.
Can you go to your rendering of that?
Yeah, just in plan, it's a very tight, and it becomes less and less useful the farther you go. So we chamfered that off, and then in the rendering at the end.
Yeah, there's
the shot here. We haven't really put a lot of thought into it. A really good point that Andrew brought up in the neighborhood was that this is that gateway opportunity, and so maybe it can be treated either in a similar or a more differentiating type of manner. And we're open to suggestion on that.
Is the intent with the public open space that there's a pass-through between your building and the properties on the other side? Or, because you've shown in your diagram that there's the continuous green space? Well, I guess you've identified this as the public open space.
Well, we don't know if it's public, but it's an opportunity as an amenity.
Is the idea that there's
well, quite honest, they're asking if this is a route that the public could take through here, and we haven't really considered that, but I think that might be a security issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just the same corner, focusing on that corner, the retaining wall or the tolling in the garage. Do you have an idea of how high the floor is above that?
Yeah, it's 9 feet for the floor, and it's only 9 feet at the very corner, and very quickly diminishes back up. So it happens probably within a 50-foot dimension.
Is that rough? So that's shorter than the length of that.
Yeah, I can zoom in on that here.
So what are those dimensions again, actually? Could you just go
It's
through
about
that?
9 feet right here, and there's probably 60, 70 feet. It catches back up to the first floor.
So it's
it all kind of
roughly
happens at once.
that mass. Sort of.
Yeah, I think we're cantilevering that just a little bit, so there's a shadow line under it. We have, it depends on the materials. If that ends up being brick, we may not want to do that, and we just bring it right down. We definitely need to leave enough space that there's a landscaping area between the sidewalk and we'll have some windows in there, the service area for laundry and such. We can still have some glazed on.
Oh, so that's not the garage, or there's just a support in the Okay.
Yeah, there is a
All right.
Okay. I have to pick out two of my questions. I think one I'll ask is, you placed a great emphasis in your narrative on the specialness of this site, historically and geometrically. And I'm wondering how your building will make a new contribution to its specialness, its uniqueness as a site.
Well, we're studying it. I think the opportunity with scale is a very urban opportunity. I think the response in some of the adjacent properties has been good in some areas. Unfortunately, like right across the street is a loading dock into us for Safeway. So, but because there's this great church right across the street, it's very open, and then by making this L-shaped scheme that faces Madison, it's almost a gesture to the openness of the other side of the street. So that in effect kind of creates that gateway concept of more spaciousness in this context. And it's almost like think of it being removed from one side and stuck on the other, and abstracted, I suppose. The other contribution is like the flat iron concept is this corner, I think, can become a very special thing. Now, we're not going to put a lot of signage on this building. We don't need to. It's just going to basically tell us what the function of the building is and that it's Aegis. But in the beacon of light that can be on this corner as a very refreshing kind of signature to the building is a great opportunity as well. So you don't get these flat iron corners everywhere. And it isn't Times Square, so we're not going to go put a billboard and neon up. But I think very subtly we can show that with lighting and the interior functions of some of those units and the colors used.
Have you explored any, you suggested that the garden might be a place for reclaiming water. Have you looked at it in terms of sustainability?
Yes, that's a great opportunity. We want rain gardens on the streetscape because we have a very wide right-of-way right here, looking into that context. And that, short of anything else, regardless of what we do, I think that's a good solution for that open space.
So my second question is going to go back to Don, but I'm going to ask it in a slightly different way. I see this site as having two problems. One, it has the trees on it. Two, it's massive. It's like the site across the street, the Safeway site, which was created with street vacations, which in my opinion created a very huge, unwieldy building. So you have this huge site, and I'm wondering, I noticed that one of the design review guidelines that you did not pick out was responsiveness to adjacent properties. And I'm wondering if you considered schemes that might somehow, to address as a central problem, the issue of breaking down the massiveness of this site. What could we do to make this be a less huge project?
And I think that's what we're trying to do with the L-shaped scheme. So at least on the Madison side, it does break itself down. And the key issue for us was the Safeway across the street didn't do that. A number of the apartment buildings of Madison have not done that. And they all become very street wallish. So yes, we were trying.
And responsiveness to adjacent sites? What about that?
That is responsive to the church on the openness on the
No,
other
I'm
side.
talking about L3.
The L3 site, well, holding back the building, it is not using the L3 site is our best response in certain condition. And those, we should look at the zoning map because I think it brings some clarity to this. Here's our site. The 65-foot limit does turn the corner quite a bit here. And even though those are duplexes and triplexes multifamily now, they will have a 40-foot height limit on that side. So, it's just a matter of context. And eventually all these probably will get developed over time.
Can you talk about the building that's directly to the north there?
This one?
Yeah.
This is Capitol Hill Housing ownership, and it's 3 stories over basement, and so it's about 45 feet tall as well. There's a very large tree here that kind of rounds that corner for them, and they already have quite a setback on their side as well. But we're looking at the 10-foot buffer on this side for a preferred option to give them even more distance than what they look like.
Okay, thank you. How many members of the public would like to speak? Okay, so why don't we just start right here and then we'll go around the room.
My name is Dee Charlene, Eileen's Beauty Shop, and the property there across the street, so you will have some responsibility to me. Said you didn't know about the responsibility.